Hey guys, it's Jake here with eTrailer. Today we have a 2022 Ford Expedition, and we're going to be taking a look at, and I'm going to show you how to install the etrailer.com direct connect base plate. The 5 main flat towing components in order to get your Expedition down the road behind your RV is going to be your base plate, your tow bar, a supplemental braking system, your safety cables, and your diode wiring. The eTrailer base plate is going to look really clean on the front of your Expedition. It's going to take the place of your tow loops on the front. You just will simply have to unbolt your tow loops, and then these are going to bolt in its place, or in their place. I think it looks super clean on the front of this Expedition, especially if you go with the same mounting locations that we did for our breakaway switch for our supplemental braking system and our airline. When you're not flat towing your vehicle, all you have to do is simply unhook your tow bar. This base plate that we have on here today has the blue ox ends on it, so that's where you see these little tabs, or the Demco ends. It's very similar. You can also get these in other types of ends, so if you have a Roadmaster base plate, you can pick that up. We're going to pull this out. I've got this all really nice and tight in here, but there's an order you have to pull it out in. Once you get everything disconnected from the front of your vehicle, slide this pin out, turn this, slide this out, and this is all that's left on the front of your vehicle. This kit is also going to come with caps that you can put in here, which I highly recommend you use, so that it ensures the smooth operation of your these tabs to go in and out. Right here on the side, you'll see that we have our safety cable tabs that are included in your kit, and they will just bolt right onto the sides of our base plate. Now, as far as the installation goes, this install, I do think it's something that you could do at home with a few simple tools. You're going to need a couple sockets in order to get the old hardware off and get the new hardware on. I believe it was only a 19mm socket and a 15mm socket that we use, so it's pretty common sizes that you should have at home. If you don't feel comfortable doing this installation yourself, feel free to check out our dealer locator on our website. It'll find a dealer closest to you that can get this kit installed for you. With that being said, let's go ahead and check this install out. To begin our installation, we have these plastic guards in here, and in your instructions it's going to say to take those out. I kind of messed with the other one a little bit trying to get it out of there, and it's very difficult. So what I'm going to do instead, which I think will ultimately look cleaner in the end, is to just take a multi-tool and we're going to trim out anything that is vertical here. So we're just going to trim around this edge here, up this edge, all the way to the top. And we'll leave all of this in place so that it looks much cleaner. We're just going to take a razor blade and kind of clean up these plastic scraps so it looks nice and clean. Now we need to get our tow loops removed. We have 2 15mm head bolts that we'll have to take out. The one that's closest to the front of the vehicle has to come all the way out. The one that's right behind it will only have to be loosened for us to be able to get the tow loop out and our base plate end in place. So I'm just taking a 15mm wrench here and getting these taken out. And on the other side, you can get to this bolt with a socket. If you can go up in between these, get that loosened up, then you'll slide it back through this opening and take your tow loop out. Now we can take our base plate tabs, and we're going to, this key slot hole is going to go over that bolt that we didn't take out all the way. We're just going to slide it over, put that bolt up through there, pull it forward. You want to keep this hole right here open because we're going to have to put a bolt there, and then make sure, you may have to turn this bolt a little bit. You want to make sure there's a nut up in the frame that is connected. There's 2 of them. One's connected to this bolt and one's for our other one, so just kind of turn it until that lines up so we can get our bolts in place. Then we're going to take our factory bolt that we took out of the front, put some blue Loctite on it, and thread that back up into place. Now on the underside, before we tighten those 2 bolts, we're going to take this block that comes in our kit. I'm going to slide it up into our frame. I'm going to get that threaded portion lined up with our hole here on the bottom. And then we'll take one of the shorter bolts that comes in the kit, put a lock washer on there, and then a flat washer. We're going to thread this up into that block. And we'll come back out to the front of our vehicle. You want to make sure that your base plate's straight because there is quite a bit of movement from side to side. I just kind of line it up with the holes, make sure it's straight, and then we'll go ahead and tighten those 3 bolts down. And we'll come back with the torque wrench, and we're going to torque all 3 of those bolts down to the specifications in the instructions. Next, we're going to put our safety cable tabs in place. We're going to mount these on the outside, on this side of the vehicle, and then on the outside on the other side. We'll slide it up in place, and then we'll take one of our long bolts that comes in our kit and slide it through the base plate ends. For the front one, you can just run it through. We are going to have to put one of these pipe spacers in between so that when we go to tighten everything down and torque these bolts, it doesn't crush the framework. Then we're going to seal that up on the end with a nylon lock nut. We did use a little bit of blue Loctite. You want to be using blue Loctite on all this stuff. It will come in your kit, so that's nice. But we'll start with that. The next one's going to be a little different because we're going to have to put our safety cables on at the same time. For our safety cables, you want to run your safety cable right up the side of the frame. You will want to try to be behind the first body mount here because if this ever does have to end up being used, you will want that body mount to help hold it. Now we're going to take that spacer that goes in between. You want to kind of loosely wrap that around. Slide this up, and then this bolt is what's going to hold the safety cables in place. Take our bolt, slide it through, and make sure that it lines up with our bracket. Pop it through just like that. And we'll follow it up with a nut. And then we're going to want to come back with a 19mm wrench and tighten and torque this hardware down. Once you get one side of the vehicle done, you want to repeat that same process on the other side. And after you get both installed and everything is torqued down, that's going to do it for the installation. Well guys, hopefully this video helped you decide whether or not the etrailer.com base plate is right for you in your 2022 Ford Expedition.